Hi everybody, this is Chuck Collins and I am recording a video for the Week 2 assignment Components of Creativity presentation in lieu of a PowerPoint presentation because quite honestly time got away from me this week. This is for Bscom 435 with Eric Bean as the professor. Today's date is December 12th, 2016. Greetings Professor Bean and class. I want to delve right into the assignment. When I think of creative thinking, and distinguishing it between the creative process. Creative thinking to me is on an individual basis. It's relative to the individual. The creative process is the sum of a whole. A great way for creativity to be fostered, in my opinion, is the workplace. Years ago, and then this came to mind as I was reading this week's assigned readings, that I worked at a coffee house 20 years ago. Well, actually over 20 years ago, and it was well before Starbucks. It was well before the influx of these coffee houses that you see today. This was a mom and pop place where the owners worked alongside of us. We had 8 employees. They encouraged or fostered creativity. They wanted each of us to take ownership for the betterment of the business. They each wanted us to be a part of the creative process. But as individuals, they wanted us to be creative thinkers. So again, I believe the workplace, for me, is the best example to foster creativity. The reward usually was something tangible, gift certificate or something along those lines. Keep in mind, again, this was 26 years ago, but it was a great way to foster creativity in the workplace. There's methods to creativity and there's theories behind them. Methods focus on the components of the creative process. And those components deal with flexibility, originality, elaboration, and fluency. One of the things that stuck out to me was Weisberg's description of, or elaboration on Guilford's description of what was called fluency of thought. And that is where an individual possesses the ability to think about multiple things or ideas simultaneously. In the business that I'm in, both food service as well as personal training, I constantly have to think on my feet. I constantly have to come up with new ways, new methods to achieve my goal. The theory behind it may be something that an individual could agree with or disagree with. So a theory proves the method. It's either going to be proven right or it's going to be proven wrong in the end, and that's done through practical application. The role of psychology and how it plays in an individual is something that chapter 9 talked about. And I want to read something from the text because it talks about measurability of a person's creativity. Backing up, a creative thinker cannot be measured. Their creativity is what is measured. And that is what the psychology aspect comes in. A person's creativity is measured through that psychological approach. Guilford talked about the IQ tests. There are several different ways with which an individual's creativity can be measured. A term that was used in the chapter was talked about achieved eminence, and this is a direct measure of an individual's creative achievement. It's the eminence that he or she has achieved in a field that is assuming to require creativity for success. What I think about when I read that sentence is an author such as Stephen King or a movie producer such as Steven Spielberg. These people had to make it in the industry. And there's some that are one and dones, and then there's some like these two individuals that I just mentioned, that over time have produced blockbuster after blockbuster after blockbuster. I mean, think of the Star Wars saga and everything that they're doing now. It's just fascinating. So there's achieved eminence. And then the simplest thing that I really enjoyed about the text was, if you want to know, and this is speaking about children, because I believe that's where the creative process starts. If you want to talk about children and you want to know if your child's creative, ask another about it. What does a parent do at the parent-teacher conferences? How's my child doing? How are they going? In art class, the teacher may sit there and say, have you ever explored or looked at your son or daughter's art? They're very creative. So simply put, psychology plays a role simply by the way or ways that it is measured, or creativity is measured within an individual. I'm running out of time. I want to keep this within the 5-minute time frame. I hope this suffices, Professor Bean. I hope that I get some type of credit for stepping out on a limb, stepping out of the box, and doing a video. Thank you for your time. Have a great night. God bless.